who he is.
So tell us a little bit about finding an attorney. Did you have any trouble with that?
Yeah, locally it was impossible. I called every attorney in Lake County and got hardly got any return calls, and everyone claimed some conflict. With they either bank at the branch or they know someone that does, or my wife works there. A lot of different reasons. And
Well, Lake County's pretty small.
very small town. So as I expanded my search out into Santa Rosa and Petaluma, and that I got some traction, people would actually talk to me, but finally found an attorney in Napa, Douglas Farr, who took the case on a contingency and actually filed the lawsuit for us, and he got it all rolling.
One thing I like about what you've told me about your attorney is that he's willing to amend and add pleadings, like these affidavits. Take new cases, new laws or affidavits or new evidence,
Yeah.
and incorporate it into the lawsuit.
Yeah, and that's BFA wanted to try and demur the fourth cause of action in the suit, and it was the affidavits that I brought Douglas Farr that he rolled right into it immediately. So apparently every time they want to quash one of our causes of action, we get to add to the suit.
I like that. I like that. In fact, I was just sharing with Robert before this little talk that one of my major efforts right now, today, middle of July, is to build a network of attorneys for justice throughout the entire country. My vision is 1 million attorneys, each with 40 clients, because there's 40 million people that deserve justice in this horrific scam, because it is totally intentional. The banks have intentionally stolen the properties. It was never their money. They don't have any liability. They don't have the right to title. They do not have the right to foreclose, and we're expecting some federal rulings on that from Texas just this week. I'm really excited and hopeful about that, because then we can cite this throughout the country, and people may be able to keep their homes and get some justice or get their homes back. You were telling me just a little bit, if you will, share with the listeners about the vacant homes the banks own in Lake County.
Yeah, I got a list from a realtor who handles almost exclusively foreclosures, and she basically was giving me a list every couple of weeks because she was upset with the condition that the banks were leaving the homes in. Once they're done, basically, using and abusing these homes to draw every dime out of them they can, they abandon them and they leave them to sit and rot with absolutely no maintenance. And so I was going around to these homes and walking around them and videotaping and posting on YouTube the conditions that they were left in. And I figure, if they're for sale, they're.
But they're not even listed, are they?
Well,
are these listed or not?
Yeah, these are listed homes.
Listed homes.
Many of them boarded up, some of them basically just standing open for people to come and go as they please.
Yeah.
But all abandoned and wrecked.
Right. In fact, certain cities like Detroit, they've been mowing down whole
Right.
subdivisions of foreclosed homes, and then they boot the people out, and then they bulldoze down the houses.
Well, they doze the houses in big cities so that they can turn around and sell the entire block
Right.
to some corporate entity to build, whatever
Rentals,
high-rises or
rentals,
or whatever.
rentals. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really a land theft. I really do believe it's the rise of the land barons, and the control and ownership of the land has always been associated with liberty. And as we lose that right, and they turn us into a nation of renters, we run the risk of losing our liberty, and certainly losing the clout that we have as individuals and as owners. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I meant to mention this phrase. I've come up with a term for it all. We call it mod closure, and I've been using it in conversations with people about this for a while. And finally, we actually got it up on Wikipedia.
Good.
The word mod closure.
Excellent.
As the use of a modification to actually foreclose on people in a very kind of an engineered and planned way.
And systematic.
Systematic to draw people into a modification with the intention of foreclosing on them.
Exactly.
Through the process.
Exactly. One thing I was sharing with Robert that I've learned with my research, and that is one of the reasons the bank's servicers will tell you to default for 60 or 90 days. Like you said, they
Right.
actually had that in writing.
In the
Before you
modification.
could get the loan mod, you had to default 90 days.
Correct.
Well, the 90-day the triggers the insurance payment to the mortgage-backed securities that these loans have been sold to multiple mortgage-backed securities. So the insurance pays off the loan multiple times when he defaults, and then the bank can just play with the owners to steal the houses. They forge all the foreclosure documents, and truly they have completely ruined the title, the records of millions of homes in this country. They've clouded all these titles, and this is the point. Now, Homeowner Bill of Rights in January 1st, 2013 in California actually makes that now illegal. If you're in a loan mod, they cannot foreclose.
Right.
And we just got the first ruling middle of June 2013, where a homeowner was demanding the loan modification. He was getting foreclosed.
Right.
The state that's now termed in the law dual tracking. Mod closure is great.
Right.
And that owner got an injunction on the foreclosure, and now the servicer is subject to discovery. They have to bring in all the complete, accurate, competent, reliable evidence proving they have the right to foreclose.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with Martin Andelman. I was on the phone with him for a couple of hours just a couple of days ago, and he was trying to drive home the point to go back and read this article about that very thing, that in the state of California, as long as you have a modification in the works, they can't foreclose on you. And basically the gist of it was, as soon as they deny your modification, you refile.
Absolutely.
And that you can keep them basically on the ropes and hands tied and unable to finish a foreclosure for the foreseeable future, as long as you keep filing a new modification. If your income changes in some way, or the conditions change.
It's called appeal.
Yeah.
You can appeal a denial and appeal. And now that we actually have in our hands those affidavits of internal employees explaining why most people lose their loan modification,
Right.
we know for sure. It just confirms the evidence and the experience that homeowners have that it's all fraudulent. And there is no real reason that you've been denied. They will make up reasons.
Yeah.
They will lie and say it's income. But, like we were laughing earlier, it's either too low or too much. And so there's $1 difference, you know, and the likelihood of hitting that they make these reasons up anyway. So we just keep appealing, keep denying. And my goal in helping people do it yourself foreclosure defense is to delay and stay in the house as
Right.
long as possible
Absolutely.
until we get rulings, actual judge rulings and case law that proves that they have no right to title, and then we go after them criminally as a RICO conspiracy.
Yeah, and that's the thing I try and drive home. I've spoken to a lot of people locally, have recorded cases, and other homeowners who've lost their homes, and
Yeah.
I just, I tell them, as soon as you start packing, as soon as you leave, it's done, it's over.
Right.
You stay in your home as long as you can, absolutely, until the sheriff shows up. I had one neighbor, the Canfields, a family in my neighborhood, who stayed until the very last, and their attorney advised them, to avoid this scene with the sheriff and your children, you should probably leave. And it's, there's some point you want to go, but I've another case, Larry Anderson, a friend of mine, 72-year-old combat veteran, disabled, 100% disabled and retired, and the bank has been toying with him like a cat with a mouse for years over his home and his loan, and
Yes.
they're still, to this day, I just talked to him yesterday, just jerking him around and trying to keep him in play, and eventually, we'll show up there with the sheriff, I'm sure. So.
Well, one of the easiest ways, if they haven't actually foreclosed and sold the home to somebody, back to themselves illegally or to someone else at auction, if you're still in the house, then definitely apply for a loan mod. Use the loan mod and appeal any denial for now. The fact is, one of the cases that we're expecting a ruling on from the judge in Texas this week regards a homeowner who had been foreclosed, and they were trying to evict him. the sheriff was going to come, and they ran a lawsuit there, basically claiming the servicer had no right to title. But see, the key is the people need to figure out, and their attorneys, how do you write these pleadings so that you can get the ruling that you need that's just. And it has taken about 5 years. Now, what's fascinating is one of my contacts in Texas, who's been keeping me apprised of this ruling in Texas, he said that he felt that we were surprisingly fast in figuring out this bank scam. He feels that the banks had figured the people would, and their attorneys would not figure it out for about 30 years. And we've figured it out in about 10. So I'm saying, oh, it's taken so long, and he's going, wow, it's so fast. But the issue is, we've figured it out. We get the rulings, then everybody needs to use these rulings.
Well, it's a collective effort, you know,
Exactly.
and I think there are people all over the country digging into this.
Absolutely.
And they're going, like I have, to the county recorder's office and laying out I've had my documentation printed out and laid it out on the counter, and I got the recorder there to the counter, and I said, can you help me connect the chain of title here?
The dots.
We should be able to go from one document to the next and get to the end, and it should all make sense. And we got about halfway through that, and they just threw up their hands and they said, none of this makes any sense. There's no...
No, it doesn't make any sense. And in fact, one of the other rulings that we're waiting for a completion on, also in Texas, is from the county. The county has filed charges against Bank of America, Recon Trust, and MERS Corp for this very issue.
Right.
They have clouded all these property titles because they don't file the accurate records.
Right.
That's the point. They've kept all these filings in-house just by changing information in their little database. And so what you end up with is you start here, and then suddenly we got over there, but there's
Right.
no bridge.
There's no explanation.
No.
And I asked the recorder, well, so you know these documents are fraudulent and forgeries, right? And yeah, but that's not our job. We just record
Exactly.
the documentation. There's no one, you know, tending the store.
Until the banks started lying and forging documents, nobody was doing that. Because literally, if you did that, let's say you filed a document on my property, you sent a document to be recorded. It's a felony.
And you go to jail.
Exactly.
Right.
And so the people haven't been doing this. And if they do, then they're caught
Yeah.
and charged.
Yeah, there was a recent case of a woman tried to amend her own documents and was charged with
Right.
felony and arrested, I believe.
Right, right.
Um,
And so this is part of the issue. These banks have figured out, the servicers started back in the late 80s actually, and in the 1990s, figured out all the little holes in our system, how
Right.
they could weave this method of stealing the houses and the property.
Yeah.
And they've been very effective to date. I want to stop them, and I believe the more the people understand that this really is what's going on, that every foreclosure on every securitized loan requires forged and fake documents to foreclose, when people really grasp that, then they should get outraged. Because really, if they steal his property today, they'll steal my property tomorrow, and they'll come into yours the next week. And this is what we have to recognize. We have to all stand up for anyone that's facing this tyranny to help stop it. If we don't stop it here, they won't stop until they take it all. And I said that 3 years ago, and the more I look back at what I was saying 3 years ago, the more I say, I was right. I was so right. Because now there's millions and millions of people facing the loss of their homes.
Yeah, or lost. They're out and gone. I mean,
Lost the down payments, lost the equity, it's ruined our economy. All the contractors and developers have been bankrupted because values have dropped through the floor. They can't get loans, nobody can get loans anymore. It's really been a real mess. So we really hope you'll keep us updated about your situation.
yes. Well,
Do you have any guess as to when you might get any kind of trial? You want a trial, right?
yeah, we've demanded a jury trial, and I've tried to kind of corner my attorney Douglas Farr on this, and he won't commit to any kind of timeline. I understand
No.
there's no way of knowing, and
It's not up to him.
We just keep it going and see where it leads. So
Well, truly, the more evidence that people can collect, the better. Because I believe the leverage, if you can get a settlement,
great.
Something that would really make a difference, that would be really good.
Yeah.
I'd love to see and truly, we have watched from county to county and state to state certain district attorneys, attorney generals cast their lots. Are they with the banks or are they with the people? And this is what we need to push all of our local representatives to be with the people.
Well, I mean, only one state attorney general stood up to the settlement and refused to accept the money.
Right.
Apparently, it was President Obama calling these attorney generals and
Yes.
telling them, "You've got it. You guys have got to play ball here."
Tyranny starts at the top.
Yeah.
Your attorney left 60 does
Yes.
open. So does that mean that people who might be watching this might be interested in contacting him? And if so, is there a contact?
Well, I need to confirm that 60 plaintiffs can be added. So I can't say exactly.
So if someone is interested, should they contact us, or what would you like them to do in case there is a room for more people to be added to the lawsuit?
Yeah, I don't want my attorney flooded with calls.
No, I don't either, you know, so.
But yeah, they could contact you and then I can get messages through you.
Okay, so they can contact Lake County Magazine at 701-6416. That's our office number here. You can leave a message, and if we're
Sure.
here, we'll take care of it, but
Sure.
if not, we'll get back.
And
Okay.
keep me updated too.
CJ,
Of
can
course.
you also give people
Yeah.
your contact
Yeah,
information?
for Homeowners for Justice, HOFJ.org is the fastest way to find the website specifically for foreclosures and to fight foreclosures. And there's a phone number there. You can leave a message. It is pretty much a voicemail phone. And if you keep us updated,
Yeah.
then I can help make those connections. I also have a new website, greattransition.org. That's Great Transition with one T. And on that website, because we are in a transition, my research has led us to discover all of this tyranny. The fraudulent foreclosures is just one facet. It is everywhere. It is truly, the heart and soul of it is from the banks, because they create money out of nothing. That is the answer. All the dollars in your pocket are Federal Reserve notes. They are not US dollars. And if you go to the website, you can see some things that'll help explain this to you. But that is the point. When you give a select few people in the world the ability to make money out of nothing and then to charge everyone else for its use, that's the tyranny. And the goal to fix that is to take that right back for the people's right, so that we would create that as a community in a transparent manner and use it for our own benefit. No one individually benefits from using it against someone else. And that is the transition. There's an info page, and when you go there, there's a lawsuit page. And so I'm going to be putting your lawsuit, all the lawsuits, anything with favorable rulings for the owners around the country is linked there, uploaded to my website, linked on the lawsuit page. It shows you date, state, which court, and a quickie summary about what that ruling or what that lawsuit is about. And the whole goal is to simplify the research that now millions, I'm expecting millions to start looking at this, because people want their homes back. They want their homes back. They want restitution. We already know that there's dozens, millions actually, of vacant homes throughout the country that Fannie and Freddie and the banks have in foreclosure inventory, and they have not listed them. Mm-hmm. And my opinion is, when these rulings come down and we have a court, a judge in the U.S. District Court stating for absolute sure that the bank servicers have no right to title, then that means the people get their houses back. And that's what I feel we need to push for.
Yeah.
How about a phone number in case someone doesn't have internet?
Oh, a phone number if you don't have internet. An office number is 707-578-5727. 707-578-5727.
Perfect.
And I'd just like to add that probably the reason that B of A has chosen to try and criminalize us is that we have been recording and posting on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook our entire modification story from the beginning. and that's our Facebook page is Rob and Anna v. Bank of America. So, you know, to me, it's this very public display of our experience that has caused B of A to try and basically shut us down.
Yeah, your video went viral.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
it
videos,
was all over the place.
right.
Yeah.
The videos recorded at the branch went viral, and like I said, we've been recording and posting about this for years, just because I think, you know, it needs to be exposed and told. The story
Absolutely.
needs to be told.
Absolutely. The people need to wake up. And literally, the tyranny on the owners and the property ownership and stealing the homes, this is such a, this is the heart, our homes are our hearts. It's the heart and soul of America.
Mm-hmm.
And when they take our hearts, you know, what do we have left? It's really worth the fight. And so I'll be linking your video to my site so
Sure.
that people can, we need to expose this. The more exposure, the better.
Yes.
People need to wake up and recognize that it's happening to you today, it's going to happen to us tomorrow.
Absolutely. Scary stuff. Thank you.
It is. But
Really
push
appreciate
back works. Push back
Keep
works.
fighting.
We have to keep pushing back.
it. That's right. Don't give in. That's
Exactly.
the key. When you roll over, then it's over.
Never give in, never give up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, you two. It was an
Yeah.
awesome interview.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.